Over the past year, I've helped over 200 Catholic men overcome lust. And I found that there are 3 things, if done correctly and consistently, get rid of this problem forever, every time. This is not a quick fix, and it is not a magic pill. But I guarantee that if you are faithful to the 3 things I'm going to share with you in this video, you will be able to overcome lust forever. I've seen it work time and time again with my clients. But before I share this with you, first we have to understand the stakes. Right now, as you're watching this video, there are angels and demons warring over your eternal soul. Right now, God and Satan are both battling over you to try to win your heart and your affections. And there is no third kingdom. You are either in the kingdom of God or the kingdom of Satan. Either you belong to Jesus Christ, the blessed Son of God, or you belong to the evil one. There is no middle ground. And right now, as you're watching this video, you need to be ready to sacrifice everything for the kingdom of heaven. You need to be ready to lay down your life for Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and to get rid of anything that is going to be a near occasion of sin. These are the stakes. And if nothing else, let this be a wake-up call to you. If you are in a state of mortal sin, go to confession right now, today. Look up a parish near you and go as quickly as possible. Nothing can be more important than that. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Nothing else in your life right now matters as much as you entering into the state of grace. So if you need to, get to confession and go today if possible. So now I'm going to share with you these 3 steps that you have to do to get free of lust forever. So to illustrate this first point, I want to tell you a story about the Vietnam War. In 1971, the US figured out that 15% of the soldiers that they sent over to Vietnam had become addicted to heroin. And the US was obviously very concerned about this because what are you going to do when all these soldiers who are now heroin addicts come back into the US and flood the streets? President Nixon and some of his comrades ended up putting together an entire department of the government just to figure out how to help these people whenever they got home. But the surprising thing is, when these soldiers returned home, 9 out of 10 of them quit heroin cold turkey. That's not supposed to be possible. But here is the key to this story and how you can use this to overcome lust forever. Your environment is shaping you. We are all products of our environment. But the thing that makes us different from brute animals is our environment is the product of our conscious decisions. Where you choose to live, who you choose to spend your time with, what apps you have on your phone. These are all aspects of your environment that will either lead you to virtue or to vice, either lead you to heaven or to hell. And these soldiers illustrate this perfectly. When they were in Vietnam, there were all kinds of near occasions of sin, all kinds of drug usage, all kinds of sorrow, all kinds of pain that would lead them to that bad habit. When they returned home to their families, they didn't have those stimuli in place. In fact, they had stimuli that were stimulating them to virtue. And so 9 out of 10 of them were able to quit one of the most addictive substances on the planet overnight with very little trouble. So here is step number 1. You have to get this right if you actually want to change your life forever and overcome this vice. If you want to be free of this and be ready to be a man who's ready to be a husband and a father, ready to be like St. Joseph to your wife and children, you have to eliminate all near occasions of sin, 100% of them. If you find that scrolling through Instagram is a near occasion of sin for you and you can't handle the pictures and videos that pop up on your feed, delete it. Gone. Bye-bye. If you find that Netflix, scrolling through and looking for a show to watch on Netflix and you see all those nasty thumbnails pop up, get rid of it. It's not worth your soul. If you find that hanging out with a certain group of people entices you to tell lustful jokes, entices you to stray with custody of the eyes, do not hang out with them. They're not good for you. They're not good for you. And I'm not saying you have to cut these things out of your life forever, but if you're weak right now and you're wounded in this area of your person, it's not good for you to keep aggravating the wound. Cut these things out at least for a month so you have time to heal, so that if you come back to them, you can re-engage with them in a way that's going to be good for you and not bad for you. And listen, the devil's going to whisper in your ear and tell you, oh, that's a small thing. That doesn't matter. That's not a big deal. You don't have to delete Instagram. The scriptures tell us he who despises small things will fail little by little. And for most people, the first small thing they have to do is eliminate those cues to sin, eliminate those near occasions of sin. Get rid of any app on your phone that causes you to sin. Cut off relationships with any people that lead you into sin, at least for the time being. How can you say that you're serious about quitting lust and then continue to engage in those actions that lead you into lust? You have to cut off the head right now. So step number 1 is cut off all near occasions of sin, 100% of them, and then try to replace those with near occasions of virtue. Rather than having your phone on your bedstand at night, put a copy of the New Testament there. Rather than having your phone in your pocket all the time while you're walking around, leave your phone at your house and carry a rosary in your pocket. Try to shape your environment so that your environment shapes you into a saint, and you will notice the difference immediately. So step number 1 is how we overcome the world. We retreat from the world, we run away from the world as often as possible whenever it's a near occasion of sin for us. Step number 2 is going to be crucial for anybody who is struggling with sins of the flesh. You cannot overcome lust meaningfully without this. And this was the key for one of my clients. This young man was about to get married, but he was struggling mightily with lust. He was doing the prayers, he was deleting the apps, but he kept falling into sin and he couldn't figure out why, until he started to do this. He started to intentionally fast. He cut down his calories and he started eating only 1 meal a day. So he'd go throughout his entire day in a fasted state, feeling hungry, maybe having a headache, a little bit of pain, disciplining his flesh and teaching his flesh that no, we're not going to do what you want to do. We're going to do what I want to do. Telling your body, no, you don't get what you want right now. You get what is good. You get what I choose. And this discipline, this dominion that you can cultivate over your body changes everything. In fact, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ even said, some demons are only driven out by prayer and fasting. You need both elements in order for you to overcome this demon of lust forever. St. John Chrysostom says that what food is to the body, fasting is to the soul. So we need to be sure that we are giving our soul the nourishment that it needs. Our soul feeds on sacrifice. Our relationship with Jesus Christ, our charity, our God-given grace feeds on that sacrifice. And if you're not giving your soul enough discipline, if you're not giving your soul enough fasting, your soul is going to be weak and feckless and helpless against the temptations of the devil and the flesh. So step number 2, figure out some way that you can prudently fast from food or from something else that is pleasurable. And I'm not telling you you have to do 1 meal a day like my previous client did. You can do whatever fits your state in life. But the point is, you have to be intentionally saying no to your flesh often so that you can build that virtue. Cold showers, not eating sweets, not eating meat on Fridays. These are all good things that we can do to put us in the habit of saying no to our body so that whenever our body wants something that is bad, we're able to say no. Even if our body wants something lawful sometimes, we must say no just to exercise that muscle so we do not fall into sin. And this is why Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he says, when you fast, anoint your head with oil. He does not say if you choose to fast. He doesn't say if you feel like fasting. He says when you fast. If you want to be an intentional disciple of Jesus Christ, this is one of the necessary criteria. Jesus Christ said when you fast. We must, as Christians, be intentional about fasting, sacrifice. Otherwise, our souls will be weak and swept away by the devil, the world, and the flesh. So step number 3 is the most powerful of the 3, and it's absolutely essential. You cannot progress in the life of virtue without this, and that is prayer. But specifically, I want to focus on one prayer that's more effective for getting rid of demons of lust than any other means, and that is the recitation of the rosary. The whole rosary. Now, if you've watched my YouTube channel for a while, you know I say this all the time, but I keep saying it because people aren't listening. If you're writing to me and telling me that you have a complaint about lust, about the demons, and you're not doing these 3 things, specifically this 3rd one, then I'm just going to tell you to do it. Do it for a month. 4 mysteries a day for 1 month, and your life will change. This is the advice I've given to some clients, and they were able to break free from this vice overnight. Some people still struggle for a month, but after a month of saying all 4 mysteries of the rosary every single day, I have yet to see somebody who continues to fall into sins of lust. It simply does not happen. I've seen it over and over and over again. One of my clients started to pray the rosary, texted me later that week and said, since I started praying the rosary, my temptations to lust have gone away 90%. And he's able to overcome these temptations and remain chaste. Another one of my clients told me that he was falling into sin almost every single day. He was falling into sins of lust. He started to pray all 4 sets of the mysteries every day. And just like that, his vices went away. So this works, but we have to make sure that we're doing it correctly. Whenever we are praying the rosary, it's not good enough to just say the words as quickly as we can to get it done. No, we must say the words meaningfully with purpose, remembering that we are addressing the august Queen of Heaven. We are addressing the Mother of God. And whenever we say these rosaries, we need to be focused on saying the words devoutly and also meditating upon the mysteries. We need to be focused on the incarnation where the angel Gabriel comes to Mary, says, "Hail, full of grace." And then Mary says the most beautiful lines in the gospel in a certain sense. She says, "Be it done to me according to thy word." And the incarnation happens. Christ becomes flesh in the womb of the Virgin Mary. We need to use our memories and imaginations to focus on these things, to envision them, because St. Paul tells us, whatever is lovely, good, and beautiful, think on these things, because the appetite is naturally moved by the presence of its proper object. What does that mean? I'll make it very simple for you guys. If you're constantly thinking about lustful things, your appetite to lust is going to move in that direction. If you're constantly thinking about food, your appetite for food is going to move in that direction. If you're constantly thinking about good, holy, and virtuous things, your appetite for good and virtuous things is going to be awakened. And you're going to notice you don't want evil anymore. You want what is good and holy. You don't want to sin anymore. You want to please Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So we have to make sure that we are, yes, praying the full rosary every single day and meditating upon these mysteries so that Mary can use them to start to change our hearts. Because a lot of people will tell me, yeah, I pray, but I still have these temptations. I still fall sometimes. Listen, whenever you're dealing with demons, there's a specific minimal effective dose that you have to hit. Sometimes for people, saying an Our Father in the morning and an Our Father at night before bed simply isn't enough prayer to get rid of these demons. You are in spiritual warfare, and there's a certain amount of force that has to be applied to the enemy before they flee. They always will flee, and you always have access to that force, that power of Christ himself and the intercession of his Blessed Mother. You always have access to victory, but you must ask in order to receive. And sometimes if it's a stronger demon who's got a good hold on you, you must ask 200 times a day in order to receive the benefits that you want. Listen, you say it's an hour a day. You say it's too much to pray. You say it's too long and too boring. That's exactly what the enemy wants you to think. Because even if you don't feel the rosary working, I guarantee your enemy feels it working. Even if you don't notice the results of the rosary immediately, I guarantee the devil notices how quickly you are slipping from his clutches. This is the remedy. If you want to bind Satan in hell and you want to climb Jacob's ladder up into heaven, you need the rosary. Every single Hail Mary you say is like a rung up that ladder where you grow closer and closer to heaven. You grow closer and closer to the saint that God himself has destined you to be. And as a bonus here, I'm going to give you the fourth thing. Those three things that I just gave you are sufficient for every single person watching this video to break free from sins of lust. You do those three things that I already laid out, you will break free from lust within a month. You will not fall into mortal sin anymore within a month if you do them consistently and well. But this fourth thing is beneficial for a lot of people. It's the missing ingredient that actually makes them consistent in doing these devotions, and that is community. And that is the reason why I'm putting together a community specifically for Catholic men who want to overcome vice, specifically lust, and grow in virtue. This has been an incredibly powerful remedy for a lot of men who are struggling with lust. I'll put over here a screenshot of one of the testimonials that I have. This young man that I worked with was falling into lust every single day until he got into our community and found that brotherhood, because iron sharpens iron. So if you want to work with me in a group of like-minded men and growing in virtue, then click on the link in the description. Spots are very limited, so please fill out that survey, and if there's still open spots, schedule with me. I would love to chat with you, because the final battle between the kingdom of heaven and Satan is over marriage and the family. And if we want to win that battle, we have to win fatherhood. That's what the community I'm putting together is specifically designed to do. Help men to break free from the clutches of the devil and become good and holy fathers like St. Joseph. So I'm looking forward to chatting soon, but right now, click on the link in the description, fill out that survey, and I'll see you soon. God bless.